Welcome to the Budget Mom YouTube channel. Today we're going to be doing my full August budget overview. Now this time it's a little bit weird. I usually do my August budget or my budget overviews towards the beginning of the month, and it was a crazy schedule. And we just unfortunately had to push it back a little bit further in the month. So you're actually going to be seeing what some of my spending looks like a little bit further down the month. And it's usually the time, these videos are when I'm stuffing my cash envelopes. So instead, this time you're going to be seeing what spending looks like tracking on the cash envelopes. It's also something very exciting for this video. I'm going to be showing you the new Budget by Paycheck workbook, one of the new designs for the Budget by Paycheck workbook that starts pre-orders August 15th. So new budget, new workbook. Let's get started. So for my August budget overview, I'm going to kind of walk you through the method and the steps for my Budget by Paycheck method. This is really where we start the initial steps. Now, obviously the first step is always tracking your spending, but I am a paycheck budgeter, which means that I budget my money every single time I get a paycheck or every single time I'm paid. For the longest time, for over 9 years, that was twice a month. Now that I'm self-employed, I'm getting one paycheck a month on the first of every month. So the first step really is figuring out your monthly plan. And what I mean by that is your August budget calendar. For me, this is kind of my Bible when it comes to my budget, because most of the time when you think of budgeting, you think of bills. But a budget is so much more than that. It's about preparing yourself for the future. And that's what the budget calendar is all about. It's about reminding you about those things that are going to pop up in that month that you need to have money and be prepared for. So my August budget calendar is all of my different bills, my events, and my appointments, anything that I need to spend my money on for the month of August. So here is my payday, August 1st. And all of my bills are highlighted in this grayish blue color. All of my appointments would be either doctor appointments, salon appointments, anything where you're going to be spending money are highlighted in this purple. My events, things like we had a huge event. My son just turned 7 on Monday, which is amazing, but it also means I'm getting old. So obviously that's something that I would plan for. And fortunately, I have a sinking funds savings envelope for my son's birthday, and we'll be talking all about sinking funds here in just a second. But that's an event on my calendar, as well as I had a planned dinner with a girlfriend where I need to figure out, where am I going to pull that money from? Am I going to pull it from my regular paycheck income? Is it going to come from an existing envelope, one of your cash envelopes, like maybe your fun or food envelope? So that is the first step. It's my August budget calendar. Also down here, now keep in mind, this is the new Budget by Paycheck workbook. And so you'll see that we added a new goals section down here in your monthly budget calendar. I'm focusing on rest this month as I have a ton of travel plans happening next month, and I just really wanted some downtime. Honestly, truthfully, I just wanted to binge some Netflix. They have some really good shows coming out, and this is my month to get caught up on those. So that's what I'm working on this month. And then also the new savings challenge for August, sell 2 things in the month of August. So it's a matter of looking around your home. What are those things that you're not using? Those things that are taking up space. And I mean, for me, the clutter is stressful. So it's just time to get rid of it. I have a huge list of things that I need to sell on either Mercari or Facebook Marketplace or Poshmark. It's really about getting rid of the clutter and getting some additional income for the month of August. All right, so after your August budget calendar and everything that needs to be on your budget, it's time to create your paycheck budget. So this is what my paycheck budget looks like for my August 1st paycheck. One major difference in this month is I plan on using my son's sinking fund for his birthday. I save for all of my holidays and events in these sinking funds envelopes. Now, sinking funds is simply just setting a small amount aside every month, saving a small amount every month for a specific goal or purpose. So I am saving for all these different things, and I pull out cash for these sinking funds or savings envelopes every single time I get paid. So here's the one for my son. I have a goal for $200. Now keep in mind, his birthday was August 5th. Today is the 7th. I already spent it. I spent it all on his birthday. We had a fun time down at Chuck E. Cheese, and we did at the trampoline park, and it was just a blast. So I am saving all over again, which means that on August 1st, I added another $29. We're starting fresh with $29 saved for that birthday for next year. And so what I do on my paycheck bill tracker, now keep in mind when I say paycheck bill tracker, it's essentially my budget. Same thing. We have my business income, which is 4232. Income or cash that I get from my boyfriend for paying half the bills. So me and my boyfriend, we live together, but we do our finances separately. And we really just stuck with what worked for us, and that was me paying all the bills and then him reimbursing me that cash at the end of the month, and I just added as income on my budget. And then of course we add the sinking fund savings that I planned on using in the month of August, which was $241. That's my income total for this month, $4,972. I like to plan my budget a couple of days, about 3 or 4 days before I get paid. That way you have a set plan for when you get your paycheck. It's really important that every dollar has a purpose, so you're not spending it on mindless stuff, or you find yourself going, where'd my money go? So for estimating your income, I always suggest budget your income based on the worst case scenario or the least amount you expect to receive. That way you can make sure that your expenses can be paid with that worst case scenario rather than overshooting your income and then figuring out, oh my gosh, I don't have enough money with this paycheck. So for me, I write down all of my fixed bills. These are the monthly bills that happen like clockwork. You have to pay them every single month. So rent, my AT&T, my Hulu, my Spotify. Now, when it comes to my bills, I just like to mention in these videos are not to go over and kind of debate how low or how high or what I'm spending my money on for my bills. I am debt free. And with that means that after I paid off my debt, I added some of those luxury wants back into my budget. So if you are paying off debt and that is your number one priority, it's up to you to figure out those financial priorities and really cut back on the unnecessary spending. For me, I added those back in when I paid off my debt. And those are things like my Hulu, my Spotify. I also increased my checking account cushion when I paid off my debt. So I also include in your regular bills any automatic saving contributions you might have going on. For me, I have a couple of different savings happening, $50 on the 7th, $100 on the 11th, and another $50 on the 25th. Those are automatic savings contributions that are pulled directly out of my checking account. Your bills in this portion, those things that you pay month after month, I pay them online. So you wouldn't pull out cash for these bills. You would leave the amount of money you need to cover your bills in your checking account. Now, I use a zero-based budget, which means that I plan on spending every dollar of income. It has a place somewhere in my budget. When I first started working with the zero-based budget, I felt really uncomfortable with getting my checking account down to zero. So I started implementing a checking account cushion. Every single month, I leave $280 in my checking account cushion just sitting there. It's for unplanned, unexpected bills. It's for bills that are higher than normal that you weren't planning on. It's to save you from overdraft fees. It's also, because I'm an all-cash spender, it's for online shopping. Maybe something comes up, like for instance, for my son's birthday, I ordered a gift from Amazon. I can't necessarily pay that in cash. I used my debit card and then replenished or just used my checking account cushion for that purpose. All of my bills equal $2,854. If you subtract that from my estimated income, I'm left with $218. So your bills are taken care of. Now what? Now is the time for variable expenses and planning for those expenses. So variable expenses are things that change from month to month. It's clothing, it's coffee, it's food, it's fun expenses, miscellaneous expenses, beauty expenses, They change from month to month, and it's a lot of the times it's those variable expenses where people go, well, I got my paycheck, I paid my bills, and now the money's gone. I don't know where it went. I have what's called variable expenses, and I use cash envelopes. Now, these are the cash envelopes that I'm using for the month of August. I have a household category that I use for like toilet paper, cleaning supplies, paper towels. Beauty, I have this for my eyelashes, my wax appointments, shampoo, conditioner, shower supplies. I don't wear makeup, but I do use it for like my face lotion. Miscellaneous envelope. This is one of the most important envelopes for me. It's for unplanned or unexpected expenses that might pop up during the month. Because let's face it, it's going to happen, and you want to make sure that you have cash prepared so you don't feel pressured to use debt or your credit card. Gas, clothing. This is for me and my son. Fun. Now, fun envelope is used for when I'm out doing fun activities with family or my son, whether that means us going down to the park and getting ice cream afterwards, if it's about, possibly bringing my son out to the skate park and we, ended up having some expenses with that. And I also have my food envelope. My food envelope is used for eating out and groceries. Now, here's the reason why I haven't separated the two and I don't have a budget just for eating out. I eat out, and how much my family eats out depends on how low we can keep our grocery costs. So it became like a really fun game for us. How low can we keep our grocery costs so we can kind of splurge maybe one week and eat out once that week? So it's really helped me keep those grocery costs low. So all of my cash envelopes equal $1,055. If you subtract that from the income I have left from paying my bills, I'm left with $1,063. This is where most people panic. It's like, where do I put this leftover income? It all has to do with your financial priorities and your goals. What's the number one thing that is the most important to you when it comes to your money? Is it paying off debt? Do you have a savings goal, maybe a family vacation? Are you trying to save for a down payment on a house? Do you have a baby on the way that you need to save for? You really need to figure out those financial priorities before you sit down and create your budget, because you need to know where to place that extra income. I'm debt free, so most of my extra income, all of my extra income goes towards savings plans and preparing for the future. I have my sinking funds. These are those sinking funds that I told you about earlier in this video, where I save a little bit each paycheck for specific goals and purposes. 4th of July, I'm already saving for 2020, $17 a paycheck. My boyfriend's birthday, $34. My son's birthday, now we're saving for 2020. That's $29. Christmas, back to school, Valentine's Day. Those are all cash envelopes except one. My car maintenance fund. That is $40 that I transfer to a separate savings account at my credit union. Something really exciting this month, we added a new sinking funds in my budget. And it looks like, let me find it. It's a new puppy fund. So we do plan on building a new house, and we knew that one of the number one things we wanted to do at that time was to adopt a puppy. As most of you guys know, I do a lot of volunteer work at the Spokane Humane Society, which is an animal shelter here in Spokane. And adopting was something that I would love to do, but unfortunately I can't have them in this small apartment. So we are starting with $40 every month now is going towards my puppy sinking fund. I have a goal of $600 that I want to save for that cost. So all of my extra income after paying my sinking funds goes towards my house savings. Now, all of my sinking funds equal $279. If you subtract that from the $1,063 I had left over after paying my bills, after my cash envelopes, I'm left with $784. What's next? It all goes towards that house savings account. So $784 goes there. Now, if you are doing a zero-based budget, your total income minus your expenses should equal zero. And I do that right down here on the bottom of my budget. After your budget is filled out and you know what cash envelopes you're going to need and how much you need for each envelope, it's a matter of filling out the cash envelope breakdown. So for me, I write down all of my different envelopes, the amount I need for each envelope, and then I break out the bill denomination of what I need for each one. And the reason I do this is because if you just go to the bank and say, I need $1,294, you're not necessarily going to get the bills that you need to stuff your envelopes exactly. I have a lot of these sinking funds that are kind of weird amounts because I have a goal and I divided that goal by the number of months I have to save, and that gives me how much I need to save every month or every paycheck, and sometimes it's an odd number. So I start at the very highest bill denomination and I work my way down. I've learned throughout my years of budgeting, 9 years of budgeting, that it's harder for you to spend a larger bill than it is a smaller bill. So it's a lot harder to hand someone a $100 bill than it is a $10 bill. And in fact, what I found was at the end of the month when I had cash left over in my envelopes, it was usually the larger bills because I spent the smaller ones first. So I start with the largest and work my way down. So after you fill out the cash envelope breakdown, you fill out something that looks like this, a teller slip. It has what bill denominations you need, the value of each. So you just hand this to the teller, easy breezy. You have your cash for your envelopes. So as you guys know, this is usually a moment where I stuff cash envelopes with you guys, but we're on August 7th and I had to spend some money. I had to go to the store. I ran out of coffee and half, okay? You can't live without that. So as you can see on some of my envelopes, let me just show you I had to get gas. I already stuffed all of my cash envelopes with cash with the correct dollar amounts, but as you can see, I have my amount right here. I did not roll over any cash from my last pay period to this new one. So no cash was rolled over in July to August except for my clothing envelope. I rolled over $60. I didn't use any of my clothing envelope last time, so I just rolled it over and now I have a new balance of $120. But I did spend some money on gas and I did spend some money on food. I went to Yolks twice in one day, okay? I ran out of half and half and I had to go at 5:30 in the morning. So I'm left with $356 now in my food envelope. So after you've stuffed your envelopes, and as you guys know right now, we're 7 days into the month, so that is it for my August budget overview. If you guys are interested in the new Budget by Paycheck workbook in this new design, it's amazing and it's beautiful and I absolutely love it. You can start pre-orders for this August 15th at budgetbypaycheck.com. And of course, if you like this video and thought it was helpful, like it and give it a subscribe.